Hello everybody, it's Zeidoktor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to Akame got killed 73. Where's the title on this sucker? Oh yeah, Kill the Supreme. And we open up with Death just kind of enjoying the carnage while freeze drying everybody around her from standing on top of a literal pile of bodies. And the Emperor has pretty much gone batshit.
Yeah, I felt bad for the kid at first. Now this guy needs to be put down. I don't care if he's being controlled or brainwashed. It's too much.
I think he's reached that point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's reached that point. Like it's clearly he's not being mind controlled. He's being influenced, but not mind controlled. Like there's a bit of difference there.
And Tatsumi's doing his damnedest for it.
It's not like how a drunk person is still responsible for his or her own actions. I think it's kind of like that. Like, yeah, sure, you're not completely in your right mind, but you're still responsible for what you're doing. And so, yeah, Tatsumi gets pissed off, tells him to open his freaking eyes, and he sends out disgusting creatures, bugs, to attack Tatsumi. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then Tatsumi's like, I'll get you, and he punches, or like he throws like a blast actually at the face of the Supreme Tegu. Doesn't really work.
Yep. And, a few more attacks kind of go by, but the main thing that comes here is that the Supreme Tegu starts trying to like pummel him with explosions all over the place, figuring that he'll eventually get an opening to kind of come in. And Tatsumi's worried about that, especially when he realized that these attacks are too indiscriminate. Like,
they're
attacking
the
population.
Yeah, they're attacking the civilians. And again, I don't care. Like I'm not feeling for this king anymore.
Yeah, and he uses that to actually get that solid hit on Tatsumi.
Yeah. If anything, okay, and that face too. That face.
Yeah.
Like,
what is it with manga where once a character reveals themselves to be evil, their faces turn into something like out of a Lovecraft novel?
Well, they're doing everything. This guy's doing everything in his power to make us not like the kid, and it's working. I don't like this guy. And also, here's the thing: who's seeing this? The civilians. They're seeing Tatsumi, a rebel, defend them against their king.
Yeah. Well, assuming they know the king's in there, but even though they still know at least that's their side Tegu, supposedly.
Yeah. And he's been the king's been talking, right? He's been saying shit, right?
Well, has anyone been hearing him? Can anyone hear him?
Well, I mean, it's a giant Tegu. I'm sure that somebody can hear him.
Well, it's not like we don't know if it has loudspeakers or something.
Well, I mean, isn't Tatsumi on the floor though? Like so.
I don't know if he's actually been responding to anything he said though, has he?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't even think he knows who's inside the thing.
Well, anyway, they can see Tatsumi, so they'll know. They know something's up.
Yeah. Speaking of Tatsumi, he's not after that. Like the Emperor pretty much executes him by pounding him with the giant fist, which leaves him at the bottom of a crater.
You remember One Punch Man? The big giant guy in episode 1.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. And Tatsumi's kind of fading, but then he starts to see mine. And it's like. And it kind of gets him, it spurs him back to get back up. And he's wondering what's going on because he could swear his armor had been crushed because he's not quite sure what's going on. But then it seems to kind of occur to him. I think he's finally started to properly merge with the thing.
It's the power of love, man. Okay, let's not put anything into it that it shouldn't be there. It's the power of love, okay?
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't quite sure what to make of that. Where it's like, so that's it, because you see kind of the aura around his hand and or claw. It looks like it's more like claw than armor, but
prism power.
Yeah, makeup.
So let's see. Also, actually, I was thinking myself. You know how he's supposed to like die after like a few times after this? Do you think actually the more he merges, maybe do you think the doctor was wrong that the fact that he's merging like this is actually allowing him to live, or maybe he actually will live, but can only live like a dragon. Like he'll turn into an actual dragon.
Of course, the question is, will he be mindless or will he actually keep his mental state?
Yeah, it'll be more emotional, I think, if he turns mindless.
Yeah, but
if you actually do you remember have you ever seen Rave Master or read it?
Oh yeah, I know it.
Okay, remember like that.
Are you thinking of Let?
I'm thinking of his girlfriend.
Julia. Okay.
Yeah, because she's the one who actually turned into an actual dragon.
True.
Yeah, and lost her mind.
Yeah.
So.
And like one guy made him his slave, his mount, basically, and the other one actually Let actually managed to get her back to normal.
Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta say this right now. This design, the damn it, I forgot his name. What's the name of the armor again?
Incursio.
Oh, Incursio. There you go. How did I forget that? So the Incursio's armor, this new armor, it looks so cool. I mean, holy crap, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I try to think of a cool armor, I just can't get this image out of my head. Like, this is what I think of.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got the claw. Like I said, Does he have a tail like this, or I can't quite tell?
I don't think he has a tail.
No. Actually, look. Yeah, because he definitely has wings though. Either way.
He has wings, and he has like the 2 things on his hips.
Yep.
And that's what you see behind him.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking is the tail.
Yeah.
And then he's got he's got like All Might antenna.
Yeah, because you see in the body, you can see there's 2 of them.
Has he got 2 sets of eyes?
He's got 2. Oh, you're right. There's one on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting kind of creepy.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, the Emperor tries to attack him, and Tatsumi notes he's back to focusing his attacks secretly on him, which is good because he does not want him to Emperor using those wide areas again.
Yeah. So, then
Big Damn
gets pretty pissed off.
Yeah, but at this point we get a big damn heroes moment from our least favorite wannabe hero.
Is it your least favorite too? Because it's my least favorite.
Yeah, I never had as big a problem with him as you do, but at the same time I can appreciate it, where he's kind of like a dummy. He's overly naive.
Yeah, but unlike Suzaku, he didn't get over it. Yeah. So it turns out, and I'll explain why. It turns out that it's Wave.
Yes.
Who is in his inferior. It was because it was supposed to be superior, but as of now, it is inferior. Tegu. What's it called again? Is it also?
I forget his name. That one's name.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an improved version in Curcio. Because Curcio's like a prototype or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of them. I'm blanking on that.
Okay, so anyway, he basically it's Kurome is the kind of a woman a man can only dream about. That's his response to why he's here.
Well, I do see in a flashback that Kurome basically recognized that he wants to go back, he wants to do something, and yes, go and help. I'll still be here.
And it turns out, and she explains that this is why she loves him and all that shit. It turns out that they had actually killed. Like what was following them was apparently like experimental monsters that kind of ran away, and they've already killed him, so that wasn't really much of an issue.
Yeah.
And so he gives her a hug.
I'm a little disappointed that he set up for nothing right there, but whatever.
It kind of was, but I think, it's not that bad though. It's not that detrimental. I guess the only reason why they did that is just to make sure, like, to tell you, like, oh, we're not done with them just yet. Because it actually would kind of feel weird if we just came to them right now out of nowhere for the first time.
Yeah,
I guess maybe.
Yeah, but he came planning at least mostly to help evacuate people, but seeing Tatsumi in battle and kind of feeling indebted to him, he's like, okay, I'll help you fight. Kind of 2 for 1.
Hey, you're going against the government. I thought you said you wouldn't do that.
Well, I don't know if that'll change if he realizes he's actually behind that thing, but at this point, I think things have escalated too far.
This is the government. This is the government.
Yeah, that's right. He's the governor that's piloting the thing.
The king, actually. It's higher than the governor.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like, I think at this point, like, things have just escalated too far.
Well, I think it escalated too far a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was willing to at least leave in the first place.
So, yeah, but he said he wouldn't go against the government. So, I'll
Of course, now he's got like his dead Tatsumi to figure in too.
Oh, I said now they have combined forces to basically defeat the king.
Yep, and that's pretty much where the chapter ends.
All right. I guess the first thing I want to say is this. Damn it! Bring back Leon now!
Yeah, stuff those innards back in her.
Stuff those innards back. Hey, who knows what they could do in this crazy ass world? Obviously not put heads back on completely gone bodies, but maybe this is better. Who knows? Okay, so there was 2 things I want to talk about. I forgot what I know what the second was, but let me go back and see if I remember what the first thing is. Oh, I remember. It was about the king, so never mind. So yeah, the king's an asshole. I don't care if, again, I don't care if he's being influenced by the prime minister. At the end of the day, it's his responsibility, and it's on him. The second thing I want to talk about is Wave.
Okay.
I said that he's still hypocritical and he's still a freaking moron, but at the very least, we can benefit from it at this time. If he's gonna be like this, we might as well have him do this. Might as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to put that aside, I do think once again he's being a hypocrite. Because let's go back to this original mentality, which is I made a promise, or I'm indebted to this guy who was part of the government, right? And so therefore, I will, even though all these atrocities are happening, and let's not forget about the atrocities. Women are getting raped, people are getting killed, children are getting killed, and probably raped too. Actually, were raped too. Never mind.
Yep.
but I would, and soldiers are being drugged. I mean, look at all these atrocities, all these things you could possibly do to your own citizens. Remember, soldiers are citizens as well.
Yes.
All these things that the government does, he looks the other way because he could not go against the government, and so he says, "I will just change it from the inside." You know, but during that time, he says, "Look, during that time, he basically says my loyalty to the government is higher than my loyalty to basically its citizens, because otherwise he would do something about it." And so that was his thing. That was his statement. Then it changed to, "I am still loyal to the government. I am more. Okay. I am
Well,
not.
I think
I am more loyal to Kurome, though."
Yeah, I think what is like
So
his loyalty's been to the Empire, which is generally the same thing as the government, but at the same
that's
time,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when I say government, empire.
So,
I just want to separate the people from the people who have like the civilians and the people who have power, because technically the people are the empire. You know, if you look at it from a way of the way Locke did it, or the very old like thinkers who created like during the Enlightenment era, the Enlightenment thinkers,
Yeah.
they'll say that the people actually are the country and the government is just there to protect them. You know, but what I'm saying is here is that the government, so that specifically the people who have power, he said he switched to basically, it's still the same thing. I just decided to take Kurome and put it over it. That's why I am defecting, but I will not go against them. I will remain neutral, right? You said that
Yeah.
yourself, right?
yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then he changes to, "I'm gonna leave Kurome behind, but because I trust her." To
Well, she can take care of herself at this point.
my blame with my problem was that he put Kurome. I know you love her and all, but I mean, I just feel like, come on, are you still? It's not fair that you're forgetting about the people as well, you know. But now that he's like, okay, I can't forget about the people, so now I will actually care about the people, and I will put it over the government, who I will now fight against, even though I said I was neutral to, because I wouldn't go against them due to my promise or due to my relationship with the guy whoever his name was, or I don't think he even gave his name, but like the guy, his mentor, right?
We never know his
now,
name now.
Yeah, but now he's going against the government, and I say government because this is the king here.
Yeah.
He is the government. So whether you like it or not, unfortunately, this is the problem with monarchies, right?
Yeah.
So he is going against the government.
Yeah, they get a little absolute power. They summon their giant robots. All hell breaks loose.
Yeah. But my problem is now he actually cares about the people because now it's just being blatant. But my issue is that it's never really different. He's just everything. The only difference is that now these people are getting killed in plain view. People were getting killed in secret.
Yeah.
You know, or there was some type of government hide up, cover up. What I'm saying here is
there were still some signs that some people, like say even Esdeath at least, was not one to go out and murder her own civilians.
Yeah.
I mean,
but Wade would just look the other way. He would always look the other way whenever this type of shit happened, because to him, the government was he felt he had to be loyal to the government. Although I argue that the government, I argue that every soldier and every politician, everybody who works for the government actually should be loyal to the people, and the government should be loyal to the people. That's the ideal version. Obviously, corruption changes all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, like, it seems that Wade's loyalty has sort of changed, and it kind of contradicted itself a little too many times. And again, if he's gonna keep doing it, I might as well, at least we can benefit from it this time. But if I were just to put that aside, just look solely at his mentality and his idealism,
yep.
It's not good. Because first he went government more important than people.
Yeah.
And let's not mince meat with that. That was what he was basically saying. Then he said, okay, Kurome, a citizen, is more important than the government, which is more important than the people.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, I'll put Kurome to the side. I still love her, as more than anyone else, but for now, I'm gonna go to the government. I'm gonna go to the capital, and I'm gonna put people over the government. Even though I said I was gonna be neutral because I was too loyal to the government. I mean, don't we see kind of like the not very consistent thinking here? I mean,
yeah.
If you're gonna say I will defect from the government, but also say I have to remain neutral because of my honor, it just seems kind of stupid.
What I wonder now is whether or not he's gonna change his tune, or if anything's gonna change if he finds out who's behind that ultimate Tegu.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of weird because
at the very least, right now, you can still say it's some like enemy group like Wild Hunt or something, or some rogue member.
Maybe we'll see that. Yeah, maybe. But but it's kind of weird because he says what he's saying is what he first said was basically my honor is still more important than the people. And let's face it, that's what he's saying. My honor is more important than the people. And now he's saying he goes back against his honor, which is saying that he won't ever go against the government, and stay neutral because that's what he said, because of the people who he did not, well, he honestly didn't care about, who he put second to the government initially. I'm just saying that he's switching around the hierarchy in his mind. It's kind of it's not good. This is not good writing. I'm sorry, it's not. Suzaku was so much better because he started out with that mentality, but then he realized that it didn't work, so he said, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Lelouch, you're the one who actually knows what the hell you're the one who's actually done shit. All I've been doing has been hurting the people more. And I even said he cares about the people. Okay, it's been hurting the people more. People have died because of my stupid decisions. And people have died under Lelouch, but more people have died under his own. And he was all about saving lives and shit. Because he even said, the ends do not justify the means. It's all about saving lives and shit, right? But so if Lelouch says, look, I just did all this shit, and yeah, there were some lives lost, but you actually, were part of even more deaths than I ever could, then what does that say about your honor and your idealism? And you know what Suzaku said? I understand. I'm wrong, and he actually grew as a character. Wave, he is just switching his loyalties and going back on his promises.
True. I mean, he's not really doing. He isn't really making any big change to his philosophy. He's just changing who he applies it to. I see what you're saying right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can because again, he was supposed to be more loyal to initially he was more loyal to the government, even Kurome, right? Then he's like, oh, actually, I love Kurome, so I put her over the government. Now he's saying, I put the people over the government. It just seems like as he's progressing, he's realizing he's pushing government down the chain, even though he kept saying over and over again, I can never betray the government. I'm loyal to the government. It just at this point, just say I was wrong, okay? Just say that, because that's what your actions speak louder than words. You're saying that you're still loyal to the government, but you've been doing everything you can to not be loyal to the government after the Kurome thing. So it's just be honest and say, look, I was wrong. I should be loyal to the people. It's the people who I should be loyal to. Say that, and you win me back. Just say that one sentence. Say that you were wrong, and say that, you know what? It turns out that I confused myself. I should not be loyal to the government. I should be loyal to the people. And I can tell you this: all the Enlightenment thinkers in real life, people who talk about this stuff, would definitely be on that type of mentality.
Well, we have time to see that. Maybe.
I hope so. And you said part of it is maybe what if he finds out, or if we don't know if he does know now, but if he finds out that Supreme Tegu is the king, because that guy's even higher than the prime minister, right? So there's that too. And unfortunately in monarchies, right, the king is basically the government. So,
well, I mean, there's parliaments and things like that, but in this case, yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, that's a constitutional monarchy. I'm talking about Akame got killed, the actual old monarchy. Right?
Yeah, where the king is, and through him the prime minister.
Yeah, and or you can even say Game of Thrones is king, because in Game of Thrones, I think the king is literally the final say in everything.
Pretty much. I mean. Yeah.
So it's sort of like that, and I think that's what's shown here. The only reason why the prime minister is in control is because the king's a 5-year-old kid. But the king actually, he's a figurehead, but he officially has all that power. There's really no. I mean, I think they have leaders, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's the king that has the final say.
Yeah.
And so he is the government officially. In reality, it's the prime minister, but officially, it's the king. And to wave, all that matters is the king. I think it's kind of like Budo. Budo is the one who cares about the king more, because he even said he was going to actually kill the prime minister, or at least arrest him had he survived.
Yeah, had he survived, he would at least dealt with the rebels and then gone with that.
Yeah. So Wave, to me, it's the guy who would say, "I am loyal to the king, not to the prime minister," unless it's through the king, prime minister from the king. So that is my problem with Wave. Wave is very similar to Suzaku, and both were rage-inducing. I'll tell you that. But Suzaku actually won me over at the end.
Yep.
Wave has not, at least not yet. And that's all I'll say.
Okay. And like I said, hopefully next week next chapter we'll see the finale of this fight. That's what I'm kind of expecting at this point.
Yeah, and then there's a prime minister too, and
Well, yeah,
I think. Well, no, there's Esdet. I forgot about her.
yeah, she's definitely going to be like the big final fight here.
I wonder how that. Actually, I'm actually interested in that. I'm actually more into that fight than any.
Yeah.
I think this fight's gone long enough. I think the next chapter should end it. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree, and probably Ezeth might pop in at that point to deal with Tatsumi for one last time.
And I think if Esdet I don't know if she knows that he's basically on his deathbed supposedly. I don't think she does.
If it's making her as powerful as it is, I don't think she'll care.
But I think she's the type of person who wants a fair fight, at least with Tatsumi, right? Because he's the only guy who can probably give her like the biggest fight of her life. So she would want to have him at his best. So she wouldn't just come in like halfway, like he's distracted and she attacks him like behind or something, right?
She won't do that. No, she'll definitely make it a fair one-on-one fight.
Yeah, exactly.
But the way I don't think the fact that he's like getting absorbed by Incursio is going to affect her much. If it makes him strong enough.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like if he is like like, after this fight, if he's like kind of like tired and shit, she might say like, oh, I'll give you like a day or something, and then meet me at this location or something like that. Yeah.
Maybe not. It could go either way on there. It's like she could even think to herself like, if you could do all that and still not fight me, then maybe you just weren't strong enough in the first place.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Which her mentality is kind of weird because I actually said to myself like, okay, so she likes the strong ones, right? But then she also wants him to be under her control. And I'm just kind of like, if I was Tatsumi, I would say this. I would say to her, because you know how she was trying to convince Tatsumi to like join her and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, would you love me as much if I said yes and not rebelled against you? Because isn't that strength in and of itself? Because I am the one who's saying no to you. It's sort of like a different mentality of looking at it. And I feel like I've seen that type of thing. Oh, I know, I remember it was Pirates of the Caribbean who actually had that thing where she's like, would you love me if I wasn't as wild as I am? So I actually wanted Tatsumi to say the same thing. It was like, would you love me as much if I just went with everything you said? Because that means I'm not really independent, right? And independence is a sign of strength. So, I want her to answer that question. I really do. I want to see what she would say. Because Tatsumi didn't really ask that question. He kind of like went around it. Didn't really.
Yeah, we like I said, there's room to see something like that happen. I'm not quite sure what will be going on here with it just yet though.
I felt that the best chance was when he was in like captured. I think that was like the best.
Or when they were alone on the beach, I think too.
Yeah, that too. I think when he was captured, that was like was being most impactful because she was really trying to because he was gonna die, although he was supposedly gonna die afterwards. So
but if I remember right, though, it was on the beach when he actually confronted her about how she can fight for certain sides.
True. Yeah. So either one. But I don't think it will fit now though. I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe it would. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah. Okay. So that's about for Akame ga Kill.
Yep. That was Akame ga Kill, chapter 73. Kill the Supreme. Go ahead and take us away.
Bye.